They come back every time I think I lost them. I got skeletons in my
We got RoGeR, BLaNc. Wow. Come on over, Roger BLaNc.
That last part sounded like Friday the 13th music.
Well,
Kinda spooky.
it is Friday the
It's a little
13th.
spooky.
Come sit with us, please, Mr. BLaNc. Did you write all those pieces?
Yeah, I wrote all those notes.
So you're a composer?
Yeah, I have a guitar player and a couple other things.
Yeah, but you're kind of like sophisticated.
Yeah,
How long have you been writing like
I didn't
this?
get to do the number with Mike. You would have seen the other side, but
Maybe another time. You know, it's Friday the 13th, and the guitar string
you would have
gods,
seen my
I
definitely
guess.
unsophisticated side then.
Oh, really? You do have an unsophisticated
Oh, yeah.
side?
Absolutely.
Like a rough around the edges, outside the line side?
I don't know, but we would have played some rock and roll. I just put it that way.
Interesting.
So I broke a string as we tuned the guitar, so we were going to
That
play.
happened.
Roger and I play together, he plays lead with me, so.
And when are you guys playing next?
We have to figure that out.
Not tonight.
I haven't put a gig together in a while,
So how long have you guys
Yeah.
known each other?
Since we was kids.
Really?
so. This is the story. We were childhood friends.
Okay.
And we met out in Sag Harbor, where our parents both had summer places.
Whoa.
Yeah, and,
So are you
well,
like...
Back when it was not. Whoa.
We weren't like rich.
Oh, really? It wasn't like
we were
it
like
is
middle
today?
class
Not
people
even
with summer
remotely.
places.
It was
you know?
like what happened to like Little Italy turned
Right.
into Nolita?
Carpenter on one side, cop on the other.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it was very,
Oh.
very folksy.
And my father had a store in the town, an art gallery.
Oh.
My mother was a novelist. She had a bestseller on Doubleday in 1964.
And what was the name of that
It was
bestseller?
called A Banner with a Strange Device.
Did you read it?
I'm actually rereading it.
Good for
her name was
you.
Arana McHugh. My dad, Warren McHugh, was an artist. He made folk art wood carvings.
Wow.
It was
So
called-
it's in your genes,
And
Mike.
we had
you.
a store, and we used to hang out in the store, and we used to hang out all over and bike ride around the town. And
Wow.
me and him and my friend Robin and a bunch of other kids, and
So
we
you would
raised
go
hell.
spend your summers there.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we were out of touch for many years, so that's the weird thing. The lost years, we really stopped hanging out. We were teenagers. We just kind of doing
It
other stuff.
happens.
He got into music. I wasn't into music yet at that time.
So
And-
you're on Young Republican at the
Yeah,
time.
and you start hanging out with all musicians, and I wasn't a musician at that time. And so we were out of touch for from age 14 or 15 till
At oldest.
till literally we were in our 40s. We started hanging out again in our 40s, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
39.
something like that. We should be talking
Jack
about that.
Benny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know. That's after my.
But in that time, he was just.
I just know he
became-
was always 39.
In that time, he was playing guitar at age 8. I mean, when we were hanging out,
I can tell.
he turned me on
He's
to.
no newbie.
He turned me on to rock and roll, really, in the sense that I had the Beatles.
Okay.
I had the Beatles, I had the Stones, I had the Stones at home, I had the albums, my mother would buy me the albums. He turned me on to the Amboy Dukes. You know what I mean? He was into sophisticated
He is.
psychedelic rock at age 8, you know what
I
I
can
mean?
tell.
Yeah, so,
Wow.
You
So
know.
did you go to music school?
Yeah, I did.
Did you go to Berkeley?
No, actually, I went to Juilliard.
Oh, Juilliard.
I did. I went
Good
to a
for
normal
you.
college undergrad, and then I managed to get into Juilliard.
did you go to
Managed.
music school? I was looking at your education
Me?
thing on Facebook. You went to Wesleyan or something?
I
Where did you
went
go?
No, that
No,
must have been my other
no,
No, but
secret.
where did you go to college? It was in there. It was interesting. I remember reading something about
College,
it.
I went to University of Maryland,
That's what it was.
and I went to London for a year.
Oh, that's what it was. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was pretty
I'm
cool.
interviewing Rue here. Look at this. Let's turn it around a little bit.
That's all right. But I have no music training whatsoever.
Yeah,
I'm
big,
on the
big.
job
It's
training.
safer that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I teach guitar too. How funny is that? But I teach like instant gratification. You want to learn your favorite song? Because I don't know how to play it, I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then I can let them learn it. I'm a chronic beginner teacher. My students practice too much, and then they have to go to a real teacher.
And you taught music notation, didn't you, Julia? Also,
I taught training in theory.
Yeah, theory.
Yeah. When I started at Maryland, I had a roommate named Rita Paterno. She was like the best musician, singer-songwriter I've ever met in my life, and she came to study music, and she dropped out in the first semester.
Wow.
Theory just made her cry every
theory
day.
is brutal. I don't get it.
Eugene Schroff, who was a teacher on the faculty, in the music faculty there?
No, I never took a music class there at all. But
I don't have that mathematical mind for theory.
math
It's
I
so
loved,
hard.
but I never.
Then you should be good at theory.
Well,
That's
maybe
how
in
the
my
theory
next
goes.
life. Maybe when I go to hell, I'll take music theory. So let's talk about you, RoGeR BLaNc. So you went to Sag Harbor in the summers, but where'd you go? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Manhattan.
Yeah. So what high school did you go to?
I went to Elizabeth Irwin.
Okay, Little Red.
Yeah, upstairs a Little Red. So
Not anymore upstairs. Now it's its own building.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm speaking euphemistically. It's had its own building.
Right. Oh, okay. I
It's
see.
had a facelift.
Did you go to Little Red?
No,
All right. But are you from downtown or uptown?
I'm from uptown.
Okay, so you had to travel a little bit.
Yep.
But then Juilliard was probably in your backyard.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go. Good for you. Where'd you go to college in between?
Connecticut College,
Wait.
New London.
Oh. See, I did spend a very short time at Choate.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
That was what
But-
impressed
Yeah.
me.
They
There was something on that, like, whoa.
It's Rosemary
Choate.
Hall and Choate.
Oh,
They
okay.
mix
Just
things.
saying that with choke.
I have a song called Choate, and you'll see why I didn't even last a year there.
I was like Syracuse University,
I'm like
didn't like the
Dan
weather,
at
went to
Choate.
University of Texas.
Yeah. Was he a troublemaker?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
I wasn't a troublemaker until Choate made me one.
Well,
I'll
that's-
blame it all on you.
The dance girl in choke.
No, I wasn't when I went, but I came out pretty twisted.
Oh.
It made me know no Ivy League for me. Yeah. But, so musically, what have you, I mean, you write sheet music? I mean, come on.
Well, I did in this case, yeah. I mean, it would depend on the situation.
So
Let's
you
talk
can
about
transcribe,
Roger's, like,
you
background.
transcribe, like,
I've done a lot of that.
I've had some of my songs transcribed for people, but like, it's so cool. So you could listen to a song and transcribe it?
That's
Is there a
been-
program for that?
Well, there may be, like the Defense Department may have one, but they're so far not completely, no. So there's still a need for,
Yeah, it's an amazing
a head
skill.
of ears,
That's
yeah.
like, that's so mind-boggling to me.
He actually did notation for the first two Suzanne Vega albums,
Good for you. Wow.
which
So,
are two of my favorite albums of all time.
is
by
that with
anybody.
Luca?
Yeah, I love those
Yeah,
two
the
records.
first one.
Those first two records were really good records.
Are you still friendly with her?
No, I was never. I
You
was
really
dealing with
know
a
her that
manager.
well, you just did the
I was
work.
dealing with.
He was hired.
That's all right.
But anyway, yeah, Steve.
I know Suzanne, no, I know her.
Yeah.
Have you played with pretty reputable musicians?
I've done a
Besides
lot of
yourself
I've done a
and
lot of
Mike
the
McGill?
transcribing, a lot of the organizing kind of stuff for a lot of records, a lot of movies. So yeah, I've definitely worked with reputable musicians, not so
Right.
much played with them.
That's amazing, though. So what's your highlight? What was your most fun gig you ever had?
Oh boy, I don't know if I had one fun gig.
Not one?
I think the first movie I worked on was maybe the hardest I've ever laughed because the scenario that evolved during that day got to be so absurd.
What movie?
I'm going to leave the name of the film and the name of the composer anonymous, but what I will say is that these guys were working off of a score with a big orchestra, and this is in a big, brightly lit room with a bunch of people from, Lincoln Center type folks, and a very powerful contractor, and the composer was complaining that the score was making noise, and so they needed to, I gotta eat this thing, okay. So the score was making noise, so it needed to be like cut up and retaped, and the man in charge was showing me how it was done, which is laying these things all out here and covering maybe just 20, 30 feet, and taping them face down. And he was landing down on it with his full body weight, and sometimes the pages would go crooked, and he's going, shit. And after about 10 minutes of this, he turns it over and he sees that he's pasted half the pages upside down from the other half. Meanwhile, the guy who was complaining about the score has taken some other little score and is just happily going on recording the music and had forgotten about it entirely. So this was the big time. This was how it was done with the real people, and I
So it was
couldn't
like
believe
Friday
it.
the 13th.
it was better. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
Even better.
It seems like it every day. But like, all right, it is National Peanut Day, Pickle Day, and International Chocolate Day. So, although that was a little story, do you have like a skeleton in your closet that
He
you
has
like
like
to share?
really no skeletons, don't you? Or like Jesus.
Oh, I'm
or
sure he
something.
has
He's like
one.
Jesus
Okay,
or
all right.
something.
I'll
He's
give
got
you
some-
this skeleton.
He's got one.
It's a minor skeleton, but
That works.
basically, it's a bad man action kind of skeleton. So you mentioned University of Maryland.
Yes.
I was actually dating a girl who was the daughter of a member of the faculty there, and we'd been friends for previously, and it was kind of complicated. But the point was, got to be my birthday. She presented me with a wonderful.
When's your birthday?
February 1, and she
Okay.
presented me with a lovely shirt she'd made. And the next day I realized I really couldn't continue the relationship and I had to break it up. So I could break up the
You kept the
relationship
shirt?
after I got the shirt. Well, she didn't ask for it back, but I mean the point was I felt
Kept
very
the
bad.
shirt.
But it was a not
Such a bad man.
Yeah,
Such
it wasn't nice,
Kept the
you know.
Are you
shirt.
friends on Facebook with her now?
I don't know about that, but we're still in touch.
You
Now
are.
she'll be in
Is
touch.
she married to somebody?
She's been married more than once.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you broke her heart.
I don't know about that, but
You don't think so?
I
Do you
yeah.
still have the shirt?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
But you might?
I might.
All right,
Possibly.
so what would you like? Nuts, pickles?
I love it.
Or chocolate.
Take a few.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, those pickles are too spicy.
Oh, I love them. I love these pickles. They're made at the branded saloon.
Yeah.
So do you have a
Spicy
website
pickles.
that people,
I've got a few things posted on YouTube, but I don't have a website as such.
all right.
Got a
what's-
Facebook page.
What's on YouTube? Like that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
or
that kind of stuff.
He's got
that
the
kind of
clips.
stuff? So what do you
Yeah.
call that kind of stuff? Is that like concerto or
Is it
what
free
is it?
jazz?
Make up a
What do you
name, I
call
don't
that? Free
That's-
jazz?
Well, no, it's not free jazz, it's very unfree, but
Modern
I can
jazz?
play-
Contemporary jazz?
Well, if you mean stuff without somebody singing and without a drummer playing a backbeat, if that's the definition of jazz, then you call it that. It's sort of classical-ish. I mean, I play two different things.
Right.
Now that track, was that computer generated keyboard or was that your keyboard
It was
player?
actually, it was computer-generated keyboard.
Yeah.
And then
very
it was
good.
computer-generated other weird stuff. But the
Wow.
point is that
It's a little different from the Juilliard days, huh?
Yeah, one
But
one has
Roger
to
has a
adapt.
keyboard player he does gigs with now. He's playing some. You have a regular gig every week in
Yeah,
a
pretty much.
restaurant.
Where's
One
that?
place or another. A couple of joints uptown. No place you would know the name of.
Not the
Was it?
Carlisle.
No.
No.
Have you ever played there?
No, but I played gigs like I played the Green Tulip Room in the Plaza Hotel and
Nice.
senior in high school on bass with the 4 freshman recreation band.
What were you wearing?
Don't remember, but I remember seeing Carnal Knowledge in the staff cafeteria in between sets.
With Jane Fonda?
No, it was with
Art Garfunkel.
Art Garfunkel?
Yeah,
Great
Art
movie, huh?
Garfunkel.
That's a pretty good movie.
Thank God for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Because I know nothing.
Candace Bergen.
Oh, she was in it.
Yeah.
Carnal Knowledge, wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to have someone as sophisticated as you, Roger BLaNc, and I look forward to seeing your disheveled side.
Okay, well.
All right, so will you
Get
come
him to
back
bring a
again?
spare string.
Yeah.
Got to
Next
see him
time-
after a set playing
Next
one
time we're
set
gonna
music.
have to bring
That's
extra
loose.
strings.
Yeah, no.
Well, thank you
Do you
so
play?
much.
You play every week at that little plug for that gig at the.
Oh, you know what? I will make this plug up. I think
Please do.
this Wednesday is the 19th. Am I right?
Yeah.
So I'm
18th is
I was gonna plug this
Okay,
event
so
too this week.
So Wednesday, the 18th of this month, at 78 Below, between the hours of 6:30 and 8:30 p.m., there will be a kind of a live music event themed around the IFP Film Festival, which
Okay.
is taking place somewhere in Lincoln Center. And there will be an assortment of New York talent appearing there. I think I'll be among it, but I'm
Nice.
sort of helping to curate
Well,
it,
can I
basically.
give you a little tidbit on that date?
Oh,
Because
please,
we
yeah.
have our regular show every Wednesday at Otto's Shrunken Head, and next Wednesday is actually the day that Jimi Hendrix passed away. So September
Wow.
18th
Good
is
one.
Rest in Peace,
Good
Jimi
one.
Hendrix.
Wow.
So
Let's
maybe
do a little
you can,
Hendrix number.
maybe you can use that
Thank
in the
you.
day.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
That's
so
very, that's definitely useful.
He's an angel next week on our show.
That's a nice room. That tell
Oh,
us
it's
about
great. They
that
got a good
room.
back line, 78 Below, and they've got a back line, and there's no cover, no minimum, so
Nice.
Cool.
Bring
Well,
yourself.
please come back anytime.
Thank you.
Roger BLaNc. We will be back with the last Friday the 13th victim on the Brooklyn Edition.